So there was a VAC Live update recently, and there's already so much misinformation out there. Every time there's any update with VAC Live, people always freak out, and the engagement farmers always exaggerate it and make it seem way bigger than it actually is. Legits always cope and celebrate how cheaters are supposedly crying while posting screenshots of people just having normal convos. People have been saying cheats like Iniuria and Midnight, and basically every internal cheat, are unsafe and causing VAC Live cooldowns, even if you don't use any aim or trigger bot settings. Some people claim that they got a cooldown while using just ESP. Then you have people like Gabe Follower, who I thought actually knew what he was talking about, but it turns out he's another idiot who just repeats whatever people tell him. So let me debunk this right away. No, VAC Live is not detecting any DMA wall hacks. That's not even possible. VAC Live will never be able to detect wall hacks, and that's never been the purpose. It's always been for detecting rage features or aimbot features. So walling as blatantly as possible and not getting VAC Lived isn't a surprise. Now, as for Trigger Magnet, that's a different story. It's actually been about 2 months since using Trigger Magnet will give you a cooldown, especially if you have a 0 MS Trigger Magnet. Some people are surprised Pikachu face when they end up triggering VAC Live while holding Trigger Magnet all game, but they assume they're immune to VAC Live since they're using an external or DMA cheat. It doesn't make any difference what you're using, since VAC Live is not an anti-cheat like VAC. It's an AI server side that detects inhuman snaps or angle alignments. It's not a huge surprise that rage bots have already been mostly detected for a while. If you're holding Trigger Magnet all game, you're basically using a rage bot. There's almost no difference. So with all the misinformation and fear-mongering, I decided to test it out myself. I finally used Iniuria again after not using it for about 7 months. I, of course, used it on some account that I don't care about, since you'd have to be low IQ to inject Iniuria or any internal cheat on an account you care about. So in my first game, I decided not to use any aim settings. No aimbot, no trigger bot, and no backtrack. I just had walls, and I decided to see if I'd still get VAC Lived like some people claim they have. I was kinda blatant. I definitely wasn't closet cheating, but despite dropping over 30 kills, I didn't trigger VAC Live. Usually VAC Live kicks in after 3 rounds or so. So are the people who claim they've gotten VAC Lived without any using aim features lying? Not necessarily. Iniuria was down recently and had an update. Iniuria and other internal cheats have been causing cooldowns in Deathmatch for a while, but not matchmaking or Premier. It's probably because Valve wanted to test it out in Deathmatch before adding it in to the rest of the game. It's kind of sad that a lot of cheaters injected some cheat for Deathmatch. I don't really see the purpose, but I guess some cheaters need to warm up their aimbot before cheating in Premier. Anyway, in my next game, I decided to turn back on the aim and trigger settings, but I used some delay and some smoothing. I wanted to see if even with delay and smoothing, I'd still trigger VAC Live. I was pretty sure I would, since I've heard and seen a lot of reports of this happening, but I had to test it myself. And voila, I ended up getting VAC Lived after a few rounds. So what does this all mean going forward? Well, as I already said, I would avoid using any internal cheat on any account that you even care slightly about. Valve is mostly focusing on internal cheats, since they're the most common and easiest to go after. Use an external or DMA cheat, and if you want to be extra safe, don't use any aim settings for a while. I would permanently not use Trigger Magnet ever again. Even if it's considered safe again at some point, it's not worth it. Just use Trigger Bot alone if you really need it.